GM, everybody, welcome to Wake and Jake. I'm Jinzo, he's Jake, and America is back. We just inaugurated a new president. Crypto is a little bit choppy, but we keep vibing. I think good times ahead. Jake, GM, bro, how's everything?
GM, Jinzo. Yeah, thank you guys for adjusting to the new time. We had a inauguration at noon, so wanted to adjust for that. But we're back. We have plenty to talk about, that's for sure. Incredibly eventful past week, especially this past weekend. But yeah, man, I'm doing good. Surviving out here in the craziness. Some ups and downs, but we're here ready to talk through it. Hopefully get some value out of all this and make some sense out of all this. How you doing, man?
I'm good, bro. It's been a really hot week with all the drops that we saw, right? I mean, when you're a more veteran, experienced trader, you know how to make money in this space and how to conserve your wealth. And I think we did really well in MVHQ this week, especially in the shitcoin streets. It was just a lot of opportunity, and I think a lot of us took advantage of it. So yeah, man, I had a great weekend, and I'm hoping that all this blood just leads to higher highs and more dip buys, and that's pretty much it, man. I'm just vibing. You know how it is, always looking for opportunity. Had a good weekend.
Great, love to hear that, man. Yeah, we can jump right into it. Obviously, there's a lot to talk about. Got to start with the Trump stuff. We always start with macro. We'll definitely get to the coin first, but just in general, a lot happening today with inauguration and executive orders. There's a report earlier that came out saying there's not an expectation that crypto is an immediate priority for the president. So that definitely nuked markets. Bitcoin went down to, let's see here, just over 100. Bounced back a bit here, sitting at 103.2 as we're talking through this right now. On the week, ETH has shown a little bit of strength, as well as Solana. The alts are starting to pick up a bit. There's been quite a bit of action on all that. We'll talk through it. But again, I say this every time, but I'm not a macro expert personally. But I like to follow people who I think certainly are, just from the years that I follow them and seeing their takes, and they've generally been pretty right. No one's perfect, obviously, but Crypto Don Alt's one of the big ones that I follow. He takes a longer term view approach. He kind of talked through, as long as we don't go back under 100K, then things look still pretty bullish. I think from a lot of smart traders, what I've seen is this is a bit of an overreaction in general for the markets on that news. I think crypto people want everything to happen, like instantly. And when it doesn't, then they sell everything and they panic a lot of times. And I think that's what we saw with the market. But as long as the promises are kept in terms of the strategic reserve obviously is the huge one, but a lot of other regulations that makes crypto more friendly in the US, then that'll certainly help the market in general quite a bit. And I think we should probably wait at least a little bit. Let's get through the first 24 hours of the presidency still before we make any crazy calls on what's going to happen. So yeah, we did see some reports recently. I saw one from the Circle CEO, who's obviously very well connected. USDC is the Circle owns USDC. And he said that there was actually, this was relatively recent, there actually was going to be some crypto stuff coming out in the immediate future, I think is what it said. I can't remember exact wording. So there is some stuff on the docket, at least, that we are getting some inklings of. But we'll see as these executive orders roll in. I'm sure there's a lot coming. There's already some news coming out on different other political fronts. So yeah, I guess it's just in general TLDR. Like personally, I'm not panicking. I think I think it was a bit of an overreaction. There's going to be plenty of volatility. There probably will be a lot more volatility today, I would imagine, as and probably throughout the week, as people are levering up, and as a lot of this legislation and executive orders affect crypto in a pretty big way. So just be careful if you're leverage trading, and I would be on the lookout for some healthy dips as well. I mean, obviously not financial advice, but yeah, just in general, I feel fine. I don't think there's anything to worry about at the moment. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, same. I mean, even last night, while nobody was paying attention, we hit an all-time high in Bitcoin of 108,000. It just came out of nowhere. We just saw like just Bitcoin rocket to 108,000, and everything else was still kind of red. So a lot of good signs still. The streets are hot. There's a lot more people than ever just joining, even if it's just for shit coining. I mean, It's, yeah, not panicking. It's not. You can't base everything on just one day. We knew that this might be a sell the news event. A lot of people expected, for some odd reason, that he would mention crypto at the inauguration, when that's not the point of the inauguration at all. And the markets just reacted so weirdly to that. They're like, oh, what the hell? No mention of Trump coin, no mention of crypto, I'm selling. And it was just like blood everywhere. But I mean, it's to be expected. And I think from here, we just start trending in the right direction. There's so many companies and businesses, and even crypto native businesses and stuff that just know that the winds have shifted, and that for the first time in the history of the space, the government is behind crypto and is actually trying to prop up crypto and make it a main focus. That there's no reason we should fail, right? I mean, there's so many people looking at really just full port crypto at this point in time, and it's for a lot of people, it's the first time that they're even considering it, because it was such speculative and speculative asset, and didn't know where the future of crypto was going. And for the first time, they're starting to feel very confident about investing. So yeah, I think it'll be fine. I think you need to have a longer term vision, and sure, you can trade daily in this space and you can be good at it. A lot of us are. But when it comes to crypto as a whole, as an industry, I think it's in the best shape it's ever been, and it has a brighter future than it's ever had. So I'm just looking forward to what's coming. I think every day is going to bring something new and something special, and a lot of innovation is going to start happening from many different sectors now.
Yeah, really not worried. I should mention also there was a GCR tweet. Who GCR can definitely move markets. He's been known to be very accurate with his predictions. He tweeted something to the effect of his predictions were quite a while ago, and people should probably be less greedy, not more greedy, from those previous tweets, which were like, he says 750 days when Solano's at $10, which, I mean, obviously makes a lot of sense. But people took that as, again, like an overreaction, a bit of like him calling top. And he kind of reframed. He says, I don't think Bitcoin tops until it flips gold. In a later follow up tweet, and he'll likely be long Bitcoin for the rest of his life, he says. And he says long USD is also a risky trade. So I think like that had some spook on the markets, plus the Trump thing is kind of a double whammy a bit. Obviously the Trump thing bigger, but I think that certainly applied to it, because a lot of people listen closely to what GCR says. But yeah, also quick shout out. I wanted to shout out the NVHQ is launching our TGE very soon. We have some really exciting listings announcements that have happened over the past day or so. We have KuCoin, Gate, and MEXC. All these posts are pinned here on the space. So incredibly excited about our launch of HQ. The token that's going to power our platform, our protocol. Be looking out for more announcements. We'll be rolling out quite a lot of information here, tokenomics soon as well, in regards to what we're doing. And we have not taken the snapshot yet from our platform as well. You can still earn points as we go. So make sure to get those missions in. I think we just dropped a new series of weekly missions within probably like 15 minutes ago or so.
Yeah, pretty sure it's the last week. It's week 8 we just dropped. It went so fast that I'm getting mixed up on the weeks. I think it's the last one. Yeah, it has to be the last one. We're doing TGE in less than a week. So yeah, get that last weekend. Start, final stretch here. Can't wait to see what that does, man. I'm excited. A lot of years went into this, a lot of hard work went into this platform. So it's gonna be exciting to see it finally launch. Well, the platform's launched, but I meant the tokens launching. But yeah, I mean, back to Trump a little bit here. We even saw their fund buy up $47 million worth of Bitcoin during the speech. So they made a big splash, and they showed, without having to actually say on the microphone what their intentions are. They spoke on chain. So that's gonna speak volumes about their direction. They're just gonna keep buying. They're looking to do something big in crypto, so they're just gonna keep buying. Obviously, dropping the Trump token was seen a little bit as it was mixed a little bit. I mean, the degens loved it because we all got in, we made money, it was great. He showed that he's embracing meme culture by dropping a meme coin. Maybe they bring utility to it, maybe not. We don't know yet, but it was just nice to see that the degens, that he did something for the degens, and obviously for his pocket too. I mean, sure, he might be locked in for a few years and can't sell a single token, but we saw the valuation that we saw the valuation just rise like crazy on that coin. So they knew what they were doing. They knew they'd catch the world by storm and have a good in there, a good opportunity to make money. But just for us as degens, for us it was good because he basically showed that if a president's launching a meme coin and he's basically making it okay. He's basically showing that this space is safe. Well, safe in a way of like, okay, we're not going to get attacked from every angle by the SEC. I mean, the president just launched a meme coin. What are you going to do now? So that's how I see it. Anyway, it might change, but I just think it was very good, at least for us as degens. Sure, it opens up the door also to a lot of crime, a lot of um, nefarious activities, because I don't think they thought it through that much. Where uh, now it'll just increase opportunity for people to scam and to launch coins without fear of repercussions. So there's definitely a lot more of that's going to start happening. But another good thing of it though is that it brought in the masses. We saw Moonshot have a record day, and I mean shitcoins too had a record day. We had over 500,000 new people just join the space in a matter of a couple of days, and that I think that's good for us, right? I mean, growth like that, we've never seen it before. I think we were just a handful of people trading meme coins for months, and all of a sudden we were seeing this incredible growth. So that's been fun to see. But again, it brings some negative to it too. So you need to know how to navigate the space and choose your spots carefully. Still the same, especially short term.
Yeah, it was quite a whirlwind of emotions here this past weekend with the stealth launch Trump coin on Friday night. I like missed it by a few hours. I was like a few hours late to it because I was just watching Yellowstone with my wife, and I'm very disappointed I didn't see it earlier because I know I would aped pretty hard because I aped hard immediately when I saw it. Still did really well though, so I certainly can't complain. And then we saw the greed, I would say, increase like tenfold. It seems like, and they decided to launch a Millennia coin that like not like a day later, and that certainly hurt a lot of prospects for the Trump coin itself. It tanked quite a bit. And Millennia coin did really well off the bat, and yeah, it's just it was just really unfortunate because we were having so much momentum. There's so much like positivity around crypto from the Trump coin. That it brought in. I think the first day or so, it was like 500,000, 400 to 500,000 people signed up to Moonshot because Moonshot was directly linked to the Trump coin site. I still think all this is going to be a positive in the long term. Sorry if you can hear my dog barking right now. I think all of this is still going to be a positive in the long term because onboarding that many people to Solana and to meme coins in general helps the shitcoin market quite a bit. It's Sorry, I have someone at my door. Keep
You're
getting
good. You want me
distracted.
to take over? Yeah, I got
Yeah,
it.
go ahead.
Yeah. So, yeah, the Melania was definitely a big hit. I mean, we saw that they launched it. We saw them launch Trump, and even on chain, you can tell that they had that idea to launch Melania right after Trump launched. Like when they saw the success of it, they decided, wow, we could run this back. Whose other name can we use? And they launched the Melania coin, and it really hurt the markets. I mean, it shifted the vibes instantly, and already there was a huge liquidity suck across the market for people jumping into Trump. I mean, then when Melania launched, everyone was looking at like run it back again, and everybody started selling everything for Melania and trying to get it early enough. The chain was completely cooked. You couldn't get a single sell off if you didn't know how to do it through changing RPCs and just playing with your values on gas. A lot of people were just stuck selling much lower that they wanted, and they caught Melania way too high. Um, yeah, so that kind of caused a lot of stress on the market, a lot of stress on everybody, and basically shipped us much lower because it just turned it on its head. All the good vibes from the Trump drop, you know what I mean? They just kind of went out the window, and like a lot of greed and a lot of negative aspects to crypto took over when they dropped Melania. Sure, people made money on it, but they split the attention, and I think they showed a little bit their rookie side when they did that and their greed, because obviously now you're showing the world that you don't know what you're doing. Like everybody thought it was amazing and that they had good advisors, and the Trump drop was a smart way of, like, they did it the right way with a stealth launch and nobody knew about it, and everybody was so surprised that there was no insiders or practically no insiders to that coin. And then they just turned around the next day and dropped Melania with a whole new team, and it seemed like it was very rushed. So it made me think also, like, what are they going to do now? They're going to drop a coin for every single child that they have and everybody from the family. Baron is probably the next logical step if they do another coin, but that's going to be even worse for the markets. I think, sure, even I'd love to invest in a Baron coin, but that's me just being greedy because I know I can make money on it. Overall, for crypto, I think it's a bad step. I think they should just stop it right there and not drop another single coin, because it's just going to dilute their market share and also make it seem like, okay, now they're just grifting, they're just trying to drop coin after coin and take advantage of this popularity and suck this market dry, when in reality that's not what they're supposed to be doing. They want to build crypto and make it sustainable and drive it forward, and this is not the way to do it. You can embrace meme culture, but you don't have to like suck liquidity dry from that meme culture to make it happen. I think it's just they made a few major missteps here, and I hope they learn from it, and they've been decent about listening to us on Twitter and stuff, and I hope it continues. I hope they learn from this and just not launch anything else for quite a while, and maybe just bring some utility to those coins so they can show some faith, show a little bit of faith here.
Yeah, I'm not very hopeful of that. I think it's like pretty evident so far. I mean, already their actions. They've launched so many things already. I mean, they launched like 4 different like NFT projects, and then this World Liberty coin, or whatever, pre-sale, and then I mean the Trump coin, then the Melania coin, and then they opened up the pre-sale at a higher valuation when it failed to get even more money. So it feels certainly like max extraction. And I mean, as long as people are buying, like I don't see it. Just seems to me like they're just going to keep releasing stuff. Unfortunately, so I certainly don't have my hopes up that this is it, or that they're learning anything, because they haven't yet. They've not shown any willingness to change their ways at all. So yeah, I don't have much hope there. I think really the hope here is the bigger picture stuff. The strategic reserve, I think, is certainly the guiding light that we would want. If the U.S. buys Bitcoin itself, then that gives a pretty huge signal to the rest of the world, that it is like a valuable asset that pretty much everyone needs to have on their balance sheet or in their fund, or in their treasury, what have you. And that would certainly be attempted to be front run by other countries, other investment funds, pension funds, corporate treasuries, whatever. So that would be obviously very bullish for the Bitcoin price. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for and looking for. In the meantime, I think stuff's gonna be very volatile on chain right now. It is still a pretty good environment. There's been a lot of nice things that have ran up because people on chain made a lot of money. I know, like actually several people who made seven figures from the Trump coin itself. A lot of people who are crypto native and like very degen, and you know what they're going to do with their money. They're going to keep gambling it on other stuff in the trenches. And we've seen some wild valuations on coins. Like you mentioned Baron coin, there was a lot of speculation around Baron launching his own coin on chain. And that thing, I mean, that price action was insane. I think it went to like 80 million, and then it went to like 1 million, and then it went up to 400 million, and then it went back down to, I don't even know what it is right now. It went to like 5 million or so. It might be back
Yeah.
up a little bit now again, but I just think that shows, and that's all within, I think, a day that happened. That just shows like the appetite for risk right now is super high, and we saw that we've seen that with quite a few of these beta coins and random, like usually pretty much all Trump related memes so far as the current meta. So there certainly is risk out there, or a risk appetite is certainly pretty high because people are kind of filled with their pockets are filled from that Trump drop, as well as the Melania drop now too. Um, so that's at least like a positive that there's a lot of opportunity out there if you're willing to do it. But there's also a lot of big rugs if you're aping the top on stuff. There's been some quite vicious rug pulls as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a place where people with more experience are going to make money right now, and it's good for people like me and you, Jake, but very bad for newcomers. But then again, we've seen in the past, even with TikTok Meta, where they find their own little niche and they make money on their own coins that run, and sometimes they outtrade us. Like we've been like, I've been taken aback sometimes by the things I've seen, the PNLs I've seen, but again, they have no real. They have no real foundation to their trading, so they eventually all put it all back into this soul casino, really. So I'm very bullish on the people that know how to trade and people that have been here for a while and know how to identify trends. They'll make a lot of money over time, and the newer people might make some money, but they'll probably get wrecked a lot too, especially in this meta where they don't know what's real and what isn't, and they don't know how to dig on chain. Like this whole meta of official Baron and official Kai tokens and everything. It all started with some people pulling on strings that don't even exist and making posts about it. Where, oh, I think Baron. Oh no, I have evidence that Baron has a pump fund, and he's launching pump fund tokens, and he's launched like 15 tokens, and everything on that account last night ran like huge multiples. Like you were talking about that Baron coin, went to from like up to 450 million. I was in that coin. I made a killing with it. And then Kai started running and went up to 40 or 50 million, and everything else on that guy's account, whether it was a 20,000 market cap shitcoin or something that was in the hundreds or 500,000, did huge multipliers. So if you knew how to trade and you went in and out and didn't get greedy, you had a crazy night last night. And that's just what we're going to be seeing often, these pockets of activity of scams, because there were blatant scams that people ran up, and you can make money with them. You just got to be very careful, because as fast as they go up, they come down as soon as people start debunking them. So definitely a lot of money to be made, but always be very careful, especially right now after this crazy euphoria and this crazy jump we saw in activity on chain. It's just going to be a lot of people taking profits quick, and as high as things run, well, then it just becomes a game of hot potato, where if you don't sell quick enough, you're just going to be left holding the bag. So you need to keep that in mind. You need to be very careful right now. It seems easy, and it is easy for a lot of people, but I know a lot of greedy people, and I know all of us suffer from a little bit of greed. That's sometimes a lot of greed. A lot of us are going to be round tripping a lot of these bags too, just because of how crazy things are getting. We think that it's just like a lot of people thought that Baron was going to 1 billion yesterday, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, bro, already 450 is crazy. What am I still doing in this coin? I was selling on the way up, and then I got out before the big crash, thank God. But yeah, just keep an eye out. There's a lot of opportunity, but also a lot of rugs. It's crazy out there right now. It's like the craziest I've seen it, really. So just be careful.
Yeah, certainly a good warning. I think some hopefully pieces of info that might be able to help you. I'd say one, like find a group of people to trade with if you are trading on chain on this different kind of stuff. Like it's a lot harder to do it alone. There's plenty of groups out there. Obviously, I certainly recommend NVHQ is the number one. I mean, we have people in our shitcoin chat like 24/7, like it's going crazy right now. It's just like constant messages of people sharing new stuff, and it just helps so much to have other people doing due diligence on these coins and like calling out if there's rugs or calling out if it's legitimate. It just saves yourself a decent amount of time. Not that you should just blindly trust everyone you see, but if you can develop these kind of relationships where you trust certain people, or like they can do some of the DD for you, or you can get in if they say it's good, and then maybe do your own DD right after. I think, and just in general, sharing this kind of stuff helps a ton. And it's very helpful to be in a group. And if you can't be in NBHQ, I would recommend at least starting one with your friends, or there's plenty of other good ones out there if you're looking. Probably just around Twitter. I don't know exactly anyone else to recommend right now. I'm just going to recommend it NBHQ. And then a couple other things. Moonshot, I just mentioned it earlier, but Moonshot, if you're not familiar, Moonshot is an app. It's new this cycle. I think they just launched. They launched like less than a year ago. But it's basically like a meme coin buying app where you can deposit via like your bank account or like a debit card, and you don't have to like make a wallet or whatever. So it's very normie friendly. It's extremely high fees. Like I personally would never use it or recommend really anyone to use it. But I get why a lot of normies would use it if they just don't really know what a normal fee is for trading meme coins. But I bring it up because it was linked on Trump's website, and it still is for his meme coin. So if you're buying with a debit card versus buying with crypto. So everyone who wanted to buy with a debit card clicked that link, and it took them right to the Moonshot app to download. And Moonshot got like 500,000 new users. If you look at the Dune dashboard for Moonshot, their users just absolutely spiked like crazy. So a lot of Moonshot related coins have been doing pretty well. And I think that's, it's one to look for if you see like trending coins on Moonshot, as well as like top gainer type stuff. They can really see some big runs because it pops up on everyone's feed for, 500,000 people of coins to look for. And a lot of them will, if they're new, they kind of blindly ape stuff that they like or that is doing well already. So a lot of times you can kind of just play the momentum on those ones. And I'll note Moonshot. So let me get the exact handle. It's called, Moonshot Listing is the Twitter account. It's not affiliated with Moonshot, but they'll like tweet out every time a new coin is listed on Moonshot. And usually, I think especially now, it's really gonna probably pump the price quite a bit. Like as soon as something gets listed on Moonshot right away, given the massive increase in users and influence now that Moonshot has. So those are a couple of good tools. Also, make sure I would recommend using different. I'd recommend using different like trading bots as well, just so you can kind of get as much information as possible about possible rugs, about bundles, how much supply is sniped. Sorry, this is like a very in-depth convo to go into. It's hard to do it all, on just the show. Obviously, in Metaverse HQ, we have a ton of information around it if you do want to learn more. But I would recommend right now we have a referral partnership with Padre, and you can get 20% off your fees if you use code MVHQ with them. I think they're really great. Former NFT Nerds team if you use them, but also Photon, BullX are both a couple of good platforms as well if you do want to trade. So that's some kind of like technical or basic kind of stuff if you want to get started on trading stuff. But in general, I think the most important thing is like getting in a group and trading ideas with one another and doing due diligence with each other.
Yeah, good shout. I don't know how many times I saved myself from getting rugged just because there's a bunch of us just doing DD at the same time and looking through coins. Sure, a lot of times I'll just ape first and check later, but at least I'm getting out before the crash if we do find something, or at least I can DCA in more if we do find something good about a project. So Yeah, F&F groups are very popular this cycle too, but you're not getting into any of the higher end ones. If anything, like Jake said, you need to create your own F&F group, and which is friends and family group, and just help each other out, learn together. It's not impossible to do. I mean, a lot of us, that's how we started in MVHQ. That's how we started too. We just a few of us had experience and kind of taught other people what to look for a few years ago, and it grew from there. So just set up your own culture. But yeah, easiest way is just to join us, and it's not even that expensive. Just join us, and we'll help you out. We're very open. MBHQ is great about that. They're great about onboarding and helping the new members. Everybody comes in there, and you just feel the culture, and feel how everybody's helpful, and just everybody cares about that person next to them. They don't want to just pump their bags and dump on them. They want everybody to win together. So that's what you need. You need to find a group like that. And if it's not MVHQ, make your own or find another. But they're pretty restrictive these days. It's getting a lot more as the market shifted towards PvP with shitcoins compared to like NFTs and stuff, where it was a more of a WAGMI culture. We saw people get a lot more careful with their alpha, and they're not going to dump anything out in public unless they're already in. So there's a lot more gatekeeping happening, which is funny because we saw a shift in that a little while back where everybody started sharing a lot more. Well, now with shitcoins, it went the other way where people are gatekeeping a lot more, and they're only sharing once their group is in and once they've sniped, because it is very competitive. The sniping in shitcoins gets crazy. It's worse than what NFTs was, especially for hype launches. So that's why they're a bit more careful with what they do and how they share information. Not everybody's as open as us in MVHQ, and obviously we're open to our members, not to the outside. A lot of the info you hear from us is much later when it comes to public, outside of convos like this, where we're really open also, because this is exactly a copy paste of what we used to do in MVHQ, was bring in strategies and stuff, and discuss metas and where we think the market's going, and bringing that to our members. So we're doing that in public now with Wake and Jake. But yeah, the crazy thing though, Jake, is that the markets have been taking a hit, and I don't think anything's been taking more of a hit than NFTs. We saw NFTs get absolutely destroyed across the board when it came to the Trump shitcoins happening. I guess people just started liquidating everything, and when they do start liquidating NFTs, it just gets so much worse. They have a hard time recovering. You have to wait till everything cools off and people find a bit of opportunity for NFTs. And now we're not going to touch on them too much. I just wanted to bring that up. I don't. I mean, if that's your cup of tea and you do well in NFTs, well, guess what? You just got the opportunity of a lifetime in buying dips. There's things out there that are on special right now that could run in the future when NFTs start getting talked about, and when shitcoins kind of cool off. But I think the main focus is going to be on airdrops coming up. That's more where people are going to be focusing, and a lot of them, like we've talked about in the past, with anime, with even abstract, or even our token, HQ token. There's a lot of them coming up in the next few weeks, and those are going to act like a liquidity injection for NFTs also, because they absolutely love to buy NFTs with their excess cash. So yeah, maybe it'll be a mix of NFTs and shitcoins, but a lot of that money is going to be injected back into the markets for sure.
Yeah, we've seen the NFT pump so far. This cycle has been, we talked about this a good amount, but I mean, we've seen it already be largely due to a token, upcoming token attached to the NFT itself. Is really not been like for the value of the NFT or like the want of that specific NFT. It's more so been, oh, they're going to launch a token, so I'm going to buy this NFT. I mean, that's what it with Pudgies and Azukis now, and Doodles, and there's some other ones out there too. But I don't think they're gone. I think we just see the fact that we're basically trading attention here in this space so often. And that's what we're seeing, in my opinion, right now with the decline in NFTs, and also the decline of AI stuff right now too. The top coins are all down quite a bit from their highs, even with like Bitcoin going to a new all-time high and stuff. AI certainly didn't follow up on that. It was so I'm just seeing Coinbase is adding support for Trump. I'm assuming like very soon. I just saw a tweet about it. And yeah, AI is also getting hit too, like because I mean the attention has all been on Trump, right? He kind of sucks a lot of that liquidity over for his token, from Monday token. We see this when there's a huge liquidity event like that, something giant, like pretty much everything else gets nuked just because people are trading out of it to buy the new thing, right? And there's a lot of really good opportunities to buy dips right now, in my opinion, especially on the AI stuff. I don't see AI going anywhere. It makes a lot of sense as obviously like the technology of the future, both in crypto and in the TradFi world, and it's constantly advancing, right? So it's just pretty much impossible to see like AI stuff not continuing to do well. Maybe not your specific AI bags, but I'd say the sector in general will do pretty well. So I don't think it's a bad time right now to rotate back over when attention is off these coins and get in on some dicks, especially the ones who are showing the most strength. Stuff like ARC, I think, is doing well. Fartcoin, which is an AI coin, believe it or not.
The leader, Fartcoin, hot air rises.
Hitting some crazy valuations itself, given that it's AI, but it's also it's very big in like the TradFi world too, because they love talking about how Fartcoin's worth more than so-and-so company. So yeah, I just think understand like when these kind of big liquidity events happen, where the money flows. So if there is more stuff coming up like this, I think it's helpful to kind of think through, kind of step back and not react maybe right away, but think through, okay, like how are others going to react to this certain situation? And how is like that going to affect my personal bags, and what opportunities are there out there? And I think, looking back on stuff like this, the Trump one and the Millennia coin, seeing what happened on different sectors, and then kind of taking that information and applying it to the future so you're ready, is a pretty good exercise.
Agreed. And I also like I think the AIs are going to bounce back. A lot of the AI coins are going to bounce back once we get a little bit more. Like once this is the new normal, I think a lot of them are going to come back in a way. But like, sure, a lot of people might be happy that the AI meta is kind of cooling off because they didn't really understand it, and they can ride the hype train here on these new shit coins and the Trump meta and stuff. But a lot of it's baseless. So once people start getting rugged too much on these coins, they're just going to go back to the ones that were doing very well for them, which was AI for a long time. And even if AI is not your cup of tea, like during the whole Trump craziness, the one coin that did well outside of Fartcoin was Unicorn Fart Dust. And now and there, like we've talked about in the past, but it touches so many boxes that we like to see. It's a feel good project. It's also it speaks volumes to normies, and it's also like a bit of a boomer that created it. A guy that didn't know anything about crypto, a bit of an older gentleman, and he's just ran with it. It's been a great, crazy feel good story, and I think that one's going to go much higher. It hit 450 million or something like that during the whole Trump craze, which is like unfathomable. I never thought it would hit those numbers during this meta while everything else was getting sucked dry. So it's fun to see. There's some pockets of activity, and if you look around, you can kind of tell which coins might do well with basically the shifting of the tides once we start kind of coming out of this meta, and even during this meta when things kind of stabilize and normalize, and some of the profits start seeping back into other projects. Yeah, I mean, so many people have made money. You said it earlier, Jake, but I saw people with like $50 million of P&L, 15 million, 10 million, 8 million. A lot of money got made. And this money got made by absolute degens that are not going to just take all that money out and do something else with it. A lot of these guys that I follow and that I know personally too, they're gonna try to make $1 billion. That's just how they're wired. They just want to make that next multiplier. That's how it's gonna be. So, and they know also we're in full bull, so they're gonna be always cycling, and they'll the at least for a few months they're going to be using that money to make more money and prepare for the bear eventually. But yeah, I think we're going to go much higher in general across the board, and it's no time to panic, just time to find your spots and attack. Again, NFA, but that's what I'm doing. I'm just finding spots all the time and pivoting. But yeah, there's opportunity out there. Just getting started.
Yeah, sorry, we forgot to mention it in the beginning of the show, but we do welcome other people up here to give their insights on what we're talking about. So if you do have anything you wanted to share regarding the subjects we're talking about right now, feel free to request to speak, and we'll get you up here as well.
Yeah, good shout. One thing I will say on that though is you'll notice we only talk money and opportunity. We don't talk politics. We try to keep it as strict on that as possible. We know there's a lot of people on both sides, and that's not the main focus of this. It's really like whether you agree with Trump or not, we're here to talk about the impacts on the market. So yeah, if you come up, just keep that in mind.
Yeah, great shout. And we're also not going to tolerate people shilling their projects. We'll just kick you back down. Yeah, what else is on the docket here? I guess shout out, you mentioned briefly the upcoming airdrops, just so people are aware. Obviously HQ coming in very, very soon here. This is the last week to get your points in. NVHQ, app.nvhq.io. As well as anime coming up very soon. I think they said 23rd?
Yeah, anime launches on
Thursday?
the 23rd. On the 23rd, so that's going to be exciting, and a lot of people are preparing for that. I've seen even people buying dips on the NFTs because they never expected to get like Kazuki at 10 ETH again, and obviously this Trump stuff helped them get more like accumulation on their NFTs. I even saw people cracking beans to try to get more rare Azuki and elementals, just because those give multiplier and give you more points. So there's that one coming up. Then HQ is on the 27th, where we already announced it with all the great partners like KuCoin, Mexi, and Gate. Hopefully many more to come. But obviously we're very excited about that. Always fun. You only get one shot at this, and we're trying to make it right. And then we have Abstract, but that one internally we think there's not going to be a coin with it right away. We've talked about it, I think, last week too. I think it's just going to be the chain launch and then maybe coin down the road. So that one,
I've already seen screenshots that they were doing like a point system type stuff.
There we go.
So I think it was like leaked from their pitch deck or whatever. So I don't think, or maybe they tweeted out, I don't know. But yeah, I would certainly not anticipate Abstract to be. It seems like it's going to be like a blast type thing, where they want users to use their chain quite a bit first, and apps to deploy on there before they actually start rewarding people with their token. So I would not expect an Abstract airdrop right away. That might affect stuff like Pudgies, who I think a lot of Pudgy holders might believe that they're going to get an airdrop right away from Abstract. And I personally don't think that's the case. I think that's unlikely from what I've seen. But yeah, I think a couple others. Orbiter the bridge. That one is, that's live. That's today.
It's live. Yeah, you read my mind. I was going there next. I'm like, I think that dropped, but nobody really noticed because it was kind of like
So if you use Orbiter Bridge, that's been around for quite a while. Make sure to check if you have a claim there. That's been a pretty popular bridge for several years now. So you might have used it a while ago and didn't remember. So worth doing a claim. I think it's Orbiter_finance is their Twitter, and then you can use links from there to find it. Another one is Jupe is doing another round of airdrop. Their token's already out, but they're doing like another allocation based on volume in different tiers that you use. Jupe is a DEX on Solana, one of the most popular ones. So if you're a Solana user and you've swapped before, you might have a little something waiting for you on Jupe. You can see the claim amount now if you go to the Jupiter Exchange Twitter. I'm sure they have links on there to whatever the claim website is, and do that. And I think it wants you to create a profile as well. I'm not sure if you need to before the airdrop, but I would probably do it anyway, just in case, because I think you have to at least during the claim time.
Yeah.
So yeah, we love the quote unquote free money from using different platforms.
Yep, that's
anything else we've always on airdrop stuff.
No, not really.
I probably am. It's kind of like the season for it, but
exactly. Like I don't have any top of mind, and I don't really like. It's been so crazy with all this like political meta that the airdrops have been going over my head really, but I think those were the two main ones: Anime HQ and obviously Abstract. So three main ones. But yeah, there's going to be so many. I mean, it's airdrop season. We saw a bunch of people really just lining up to drop their token, and I think January and February are going to be very hot. Well, February is going to be very hot for that. End of January too, obviously, and it's just gonna start off the year well. It's going to bring in a lot of liquidity, and other people are going to be doing their drops soon too. You know how it is when things heat up. A lot of new products start thinking, okay, we finally hit that sweet spot. Let's launch. We've been waiting for years now. Let's do it. So we're going to be seeing a few of them come out. I will say, if you're looking to trade, though, we've been using like we were talking about it loosely a little bit before. But if you haven't used anything yet, like Bullex or Photon or Padre, I mean, all of them promised airdrops. None of them did really well or even dropped a coin yet. I know Padre has one that gives them discounts and stuff, but we're using Padre in MBHQ and we love it. I'd consider looking into it. I think the fees are cheaper, the charting is good, and in general, I think we're just enjoying our time on Padre. I've used them all. I've used Bullex, Photon, Padre, and everything. Ever since I switched over to Padre, I've had a great time. I'm not going back to anything else. And obviously, they have a lot of they gave us a very favorable deal too. But I mean, it's favorable for everybody. They're much cheaper on fees, and they're receptive to information. And they're not paying me to say this. I'm saying this because I love that platform. It's actually a really good platform, and I'm going to be using it for a long time. So consider that one if you're looking to trade. You shouldn't be trading if it's just on swaps. You're going to be delayed all the time, and you're not going to have proper charting. So even if you don't use Padre and you want to use something, at least use a platform that's giving you up to date information when you're shitcoining. So yeah, that's basically the tip I'd give today.
Yeah, good shouts for sure. Yeah, anything else you wanted to bring up? Anything else on your docket, Jinzo?
No, just some reminders on missions on our platform. We just launched our second Gigaverse mission, and that's going to be a really popular project on Abstract Chain. Get involved with that. It's from Dith, the creator of GLHFers. They were creating a game, so I would get involved in that one. We just launched it. It's already at 1,200 participants. Our missions have been heating up, and that's one that I definitely keep an eye on. Don't forget also to do the final week of missions. Go get those those last points. Go finish up your weekly challenges because we're launching soon. And yeah, I know we've shilled MVH HQ a lot in this space, but I mean, it's the last week, so we're trying to push it a little bit here so you guys don't miss out. It's not just about us; it's really about you. We made it very easy for people to benefit, and so that's why we keep reminding you guys. There's other opportunities too, like Ethos is a chain from Serpent Tax, really good guy in this space. He's been working hard. He's always been working hard, but he's working hard on building this chain. It's going to be, I think, a hot one. So keep an eye on that mission there, and just in general, just go do them.
Yeah, I want to talk about Ethos. It's actually
that's a good idea. Yeah.
If you haven't checked it out, again, we're not paid or anything for this. I just think it's a cool platform, and there's actually also an airdrop farming opportunity there too. They ended testnet. Now I think their testnet is done now. They took a snapshot for it. I know there's like a claim for that, and then they're gonna launch their mainnet here. I forgot exactly what day. It's sometime this week. It might be today, or maybe tomorrow. But it's honestly like a really cool platform. At least if it like catches on. Basically what it is, it's like a credibility protocol, I think is what they call it, where it gives people like a base like credibility score. They have to for everyone's like Twitter account, and you can kind of see you can give reviews and vouches for other people, either positive or negative, to bring their score up and down. And they have some like rules and stuff against like tampering with this and like abusing this as well. So remains to be seen, like obviously how well it'll actually work. And I think it needs like quite a bit of participation to work. But if there's a proper incentivization there, I know they're VC backed. So they have some funding, they have some decent connections, and it's a pretty slick site as well, pretty easy to use. But I just think it's like a good endeavor in general for the space to bring some like transparency to especially like Twitter accounts that you haven't seen before, maybe has a lot of followers and you just don't know if they're like a grifter or not. Like being able to quickly see like basically Amazon reviews of this person to determine whether or not they are good and like get a general score as well of them, I think is like pretty helpful actually. Even just like especially in like trading, if you like see something launched by a random account you haven't seen before, it gives you at least some additional information about that person, if they do have any on there. So I think it's pretty interesting. Would recommend checking it out, and there's just an airdrop opportunity there too to farm. So
Yeah, and on
again,
top
not
of it,
paid. I just think it's a good product.
it's hard to bot too, because like let's say you want to vouch for somebody, you have to pay. So you're putting up money to vouch. So it's not like you can just like bot these things. I'm sure people are gonna find a way to do it, but this team's cracked. They've been finding ways to keep this legit. And what you have to do here is basically you download a Chrome extension for your browser, and it'll modify your Twitter to have everybody's score on there. So you'll have like reviews and scores and vouchers directly overlaid on Twitter. So when you're scrolling and you're trying to do information and like trying to find information and research, you can tell right away if you're looking at, or at least you have a good eye on if someone's scamming or not and what others have said about it, and it'll tag that account. So yeah, it's cool. I've enjoyed it. I mean, I haven't dug deep enough yet on it, but just a quick overview of it that I've been seeing even on Twitter, I enjoy it. I mean, it can if it does catch on, like we're saying, if it does bring in people and people start using it and like evolving this system, I think it could help a lot. This space needs this. The first thing I saw, the first thing I thought when I saw Ethos was, man, this is like, he's smart. He attacked a sector that people have had a hard time figuring out, and it looks like he's getting very close to like solving that problem. And all he needs really is more people to get involved, and he's good about that. He hasn't the team hasn't wanted an inorganic growth. They want people that come in and try the platform and really give like feedback, positive or negative, doesn't matter, and just help them grow it. They don't want it just to be a shill fest and a token farm. They want people to actually help them grow. So that's what I like. I like that it's a passion project for them. It's not just something to make money, and that's what we need to be looking for in this space. And that's the teams we need to back in this space.
Yeah, well said. It's ethos_network too, if you're wondering. That's their Twitter account if you want to learn more. Yeah, I didn't have much else. We're approaching the hour mark. I did want to say quick stuff in regards to, while kind of we're on the Twitter topic. I think there's maybe some quick tips that at least stuff that I do to try and optimize my Twitter, to hopefully find signal in a lot of the dialogue that I see. Maybe this can help you too. It's kind of something I've been refining over the years. But I guess just a couple few tips. One is I would try and clean out who you are following. Like I pretty much only follow accounts that I think are smart and who or at least are like recommended by other smart people, and then I kind of suss them out from there. And then maybe bigger projects that I'm interested in, news accounts that have quick information that they can give me. And then just in general, like I'm very quick to unfollow stuff, or I'm very quick to mute someone who just is like says something incredibly dumb or is a grifter or whatever. I think in general, just like weeding out a lot of the noise on Twitter, because there's just so much noise out there, can really help you find stuff. Like I see people talking about random stuff that they see on Twitter, and I'm just like, that's so obviously just some like shitty grifter. But if you don't know that, it's tough. So I think kind of just going through your own follow count and like getting rid of a lot of the noise that's out there is very helpful. And then I only use only use the following tab. There's the For You and the following tab, obviously. I think the For You just kind of throws you so much random shit that can distract you. I personally just only use the following tag. And if you're worried about missing something, important because it does it by chronological order. The following tab does the tweets. Then I think, obviously putting notifications on for accounts that you really want to follow. Like I'd say, like for me, the notifications I have on are for Crypto Don Alt, Web3 Quant, GCR, OGD Farmer, who are all really good traders themselves. And then I have it on some like news accounts like DB, what's his name? DB 10K or something like that. Oh, tier 10K, but his handle or his name or whatever is DB tier 10K, who has really quick crypto news alerts, and they a lot of times move markets, so it's a very important one to have notifications on for, as well as the moonshot listing one that I talked about earlier. And then anyone else, I think, even if you're like sussing out a new account, I think it's good to have notifications on. I do this for like when I'm looking at a shitcoin. I'm just like on a new shitcoin, I'll follow the account itself, the Twitter, then like maybe if there's like a dev or like a creator person behind it, or for projects as well, MT projects, what have you. And I'll put them on notifications if it's like a shorter term trade, just so I can quickly follow whatever news comes out regarding whatever I'm holding. And then when I sell and I get rid of it, then I just I definitely like undo the notifications, or maybe I'll unfollow them too, to again, get rid of all the noise out there on Twitter, because I just think there can be so much stuff, and there's probably some other really good alpha that people have with Twitter. I honestly don't utilize a lot of stuff. Like I don't really use lists at all. I'm sure people have some good alpha there. But that's just a couple quick things that maybe they're standard for some people, but maybe some people it could help. So I don't know if you have anything else to add there.
Yeah, weeks like this, I'm very, very, very fortunate. I'm very like blessed. I feel blessed when we have weeks like this because it brings up all the bullshit to the top, and my block button goes nuts. I just start blocking whoever I see that just spreading misinformation, and you know what I mean, being negative about things that we know is wrong. And I mean, that's something I would like encourage people to do, is be more aggressive with your blocks and your mutes. Just block everything that you see that you don't agree with. It just you're gonna suppress that from your timeline, and it's gonna stop throwing you off. Like it's so easy to go into doom and gloom mode when you don't have the experience to know differently, and you start just seeing all kinds of that on your timeline. So if you start seeing people just say the most random garbage, don't be afraid to block. I've been doing that for a while now, and it's actually this cycle, I find I'm even more easy on the block buttons. As soon as I see something I don't like, I'll throw them a comment and block them. I'll just be like, yeah, you're an idiot. Block. I have to give them a little jab before I block them, but I block them every time, man.
I like to do the mute more, just because if they want to follow me, they can follow me. I don't care.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
but I'll mute them so I don't have to see what they're saying. If it's someone just ridiculous. But yeah, that's about it there. We're at the hour mark. Anything else we want to talk about? Obviously, you guys can request to speak too if you had anything you wanted to chat about. Otherwise, we can wrap it up here.
I don't see any requests, but yeah, reminder: block the people you don't agree with. Hey, if it's me, block me. It's fine. I still love you. I'll be me. I'll still be me. But yeah, just block out that noise. It's all about making money, and yeah, you need to filter a lot of bullshit out in this space. So that's it for me, man. That's all I had to say. That was a good way to end it, I think. Just work on yourself and block out the negative.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all for coming. NBHQ, TGE, HQ, TGE, January 27th. You can still farm points on the platform. The new missions just went up today. Check it out, app.nbhq.io. Thank you all for coming.
Take care.